man, what's up? Coming live from our bedside bathroom. It is the first episode of the Brooklyn Bugle podcast, and I'm your host, Cav, aka Johnny Cigarette. I wanted to start off this first podcast with something that happened last week, and if anything, it's something I need a little advice on. So I was at the Metrograph. It's one of my favorite cinemas over here. I'm there quite frequently. As you'll hear, I mean, like, this is a case that, like, I feel like I'll probably mention this service so much on this podcast it'll eventually be sponsored. Not that I should be sponsored in life by it, so because I've recommended so many times. MoviePass, my friends, MoviePass is a thing over here. Holy cow, $10 a month, and once a day you can go to the movies any day of the fucking week, no worries. Like, it's like having two divorced parents, and one of them is really into Francis Ford Coppola movies, the other one is into, I don't know, fucking Greta Gerwig, but I've been non-stop going to the cinema. But I went to this premiere last week, very much by the skin of my teeth, as I'll so delve into this tale. I'm on their newsletter. I saw that this thing was happening, this new show, Ballmasters 9009, directed by a hero of mine, I'd actually even say, Christy Caracas, who's created one of my favorite animated shows. I'd definitely check it out if you're into the whole Adult Swim buzz, adult cartoons. Super gel, amazing. But he's this new show, and so I emailed and I was like, hey, can I, huge fan of the show, can I come along? I'm like, yeah, sure, of course, your name's on the guest list. I was like, cool. So I head in there, whatever, I walk in, and they're checking, they're like, oh yeah, you see your name there. If you want to, make your way into the lobby there, and the concession stand tonight, which is usually off limits for me, I see it's like fucking $6 or something like that for this day old popcorn, and they're like, that's all free tonight. The Adult Swim has bought out the whole show, and I was like, fuck. So I go up or whatever, and I'm there by myself, so I'm quite nervous. So I just take a bucket of popcorn first, and I walk away, and I'm kind of checking out the whole environment, seeing how people are, like, what are they wearing, and then I see that a lot of people start to go into the theater then. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna grab one of those, gorgeous, tall, slim Kate Moss glasses of Coke. And before I do so, though, just to be, I have manners, and I decide to ask one of the concierge, and I say, hey, buddy, and I knew this guy around because I'm in there a lot. I said, hey, it's all the drinks here, they're all for free. And he says, yeah, but we're trying to limit it to one per person, so don't go crazy. I was like, what do I look like, some sort of scumbag that I'm gonna just completely reef the place? Give me a fucking break, you fucking asshole, wearing your little primary school uniform around the place. Anyway, we go in. The guy, Chrissy Crackers, he does the speech or whatever they do. Show 3 episodes. Amazing, completely blown away. I love this. It seemed to be quite anime inspired, but still with his humor and his kind of classic style. His amazing shading style. And then we leave afterwards, and so nice. There's tote bags, really good quality tote there on each chair with a poster in there, and a little stress ball, one of the characters from the show. And when the thing finishes or whatever, this guy who kind of been making comments, front row, he runs around, he steals all the fucking bags, so I don't even get any for anybody else. And I leave then or whatever, and I kind of notice when I leave the theater that back of my mouth kind of feels weird. So I get home, get back here, bedside, and I said, Aisling, for those who don't know, my beautiful girlfriend, I'm like, Aisling, the back of my mouth feels really weird. And she's like, it's probably nothing. And I'm like, you know what it is? It's the shell. it's the flesh of a popcorn kernel stuck in the back of my gum, and that's what I feel because I'm tonguing around in there like a junior disco. I'm feeling around and I can't. I'm like, there's like a fucking crack in there. So she says, you know what? She goes, just go into the bathroom, brush your teeth. I'm like, good, of course, yes, I'll brush my teeth, and that'll figure it all out. So I'm, in on the left side, kind of apprehensive about going over to this fucking like ER kind of situation on a late RT, and I get I finally and I go over and I go, and I hear this like kind of pop sound, and here comes the blood, and you know healthy piece of my tooth just pop, one of my pearly whites, one of my fucking popcorn flavored gourmet jelly beans just pops out of my fucking mouth. I'm like, shit. And I tell you something, it's fucking scary. And so I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Because we have insurance over here, but it's not like we looked it up, and it's only if you lose a fucking limb or something like that. I'm not like fucking Mr. Potato Head. And so I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. I like it. I wish it was one of the front ones. I wouldn't mind that kind of like goofy kind of toothy grin, Danny Brown kind of thing, Madonna, Mac DeMarco. One of those. But like the back of the mouth, there's no merit to that. So that's why my friends, I was at Dollar Tree around the corner. Another one of my favorite spots around here. Everything in there $1, apart from the refrigerated drinks. I was in there and I bought 3 tubes of toothpaste and a fucking mouthwash, anti-plaque, and fucking one of those. I couldn't say no. When I was in that section, I couldn't say no. Those soaps, and I don't know how the fuck they do it. It's like Fiji Water stole this aspect from them, but it's like they have like underwater scenes, but it's like 3D inside the bottle. And this particular scent is very berry, which is a personal favorite of mine. But I'm standing in the queue, and of course, as anywhere, I feel like over here you get like your classic characters, and this guy is in front of me in the queue, and he's playing this song, and it's like, I bet the neighbors know my name. I bet the neighbors know my name. And I've never heard this sort of song before. And I went home, of course, and I like looked it up. And what I found weird as well is he winked at me when he left the store, as if I'd done him a favor by listening to the song. But apparently it's a Trey Songz song. Trey Songz song. Trey Songz song. That I know Trey Songz, but and it sings, I bet the neighbors know my name, where you scratching, screaming, yelling. Anyway, yeah, that's my situation with my tiny little mouth at the moment. But anyway, moving on. I thought that'd be a good way. That'll give you, just a taste of what's to come in these episodes. I don't know what's the best way to start off, I suppose, then from the beginning, where it all began, coming over here, coming fresh off the boat from America, seeing Lady Liberty herself. I think one of the first stories that, and one of the roughest days of my life, I feel like, is so myself and Ashton, we're over here on the grad visa. We both graduated from college last year. Honestly, if anybody is thinking about it, I'd thoroughly recommend. I know it's like quite a lot of money, but it's like thoroughly worth it. It's like, especially, I think a lot of people end up going over to the West Coast, but like I particularly, really enjoy New York. I was over here 2 years ago, just for the summer, with my friends Ewan and Stefan and Neve and countless others. And I don't know, there was always something that just kept me kind of coming back. So yeah, it begins, and you're doing all this stuff, and you're applying and stuff, and you end up you have to go to the American embassy basically for this interview, And now this was a part of this whole application that, I was really nervous about, because, as I just previously said, I was over here 2 years ago, and what happened was, something that always stuck with me was, we were out one night. We had been to this bar, and afterwards it was like maybe like 4 or 5 in the morning. We went down to like the water. It would have been like right down beside like East River, and just a bar off Brooklyn. And I remember sitting there with like some people from like NCAD and whatever. And then I think at one stage, we were kind of like fucked enough that we were like, oh, it was like a really nice, the sun was starting to come up and everything like that. We're like, we'll go for a fucking swim in the water. Wouldn't that just be absolutely gorgeous? That would be some absolute, Call Me By Your Name hadn't really come out at that stage, but we were like, that's a real, that's a real Timothée Chalamet. And so yeah, we're like, and then all of a sudden, then we get this, someone shouting from us behind, "Don't go in that fucking water, there's some fucking sewage going right in there." And some well-to-do Brooklyn girl, Bushwick babe, and we start talking to her, and she tells her dad is from Calvin. I'm like, oh yeah, and she offers us like one of the small beers. Take her up on the offer. We kind of realize it's kind of getting late at this stage, so we're like, fuck it, we'll call it a day. And we were it's kind of like a slope or whatever. We're walking up, and then who's fucking up there? Only a Jeep with 2 cops. And as soon as I spot them, because we got done in with a fucking subway thing over here as well, that's like a fucking meaningless story, but fucking fine $100 for absolutely fuck all. But this time around, they spot me like leaving in the can. They're like, "Sir, if you wouldn't mind, picking that back up again." So I'm like, alright, grand. And I like walk over to them, whatever, and I am absolutely fucking shitting it, because I'd heard a story previously, like maybe 2 weeks before, about somebody over in the West Coast. And they were on the beach one day, having a casual couple of these tiny little cans. And the cop came up to the guy, whatever. Next day, sent home. So, he asked me for my ID and stuff like that, and kind of in the drunken state. And I was like, fucking just play it dumb, don't say anything. And I'm like, oh no, sorry, I don't have it. And he goes, all right, we're gonna search you now, sir. And I was like, Jesus Christ! So I had to put my fucking 2 hands, my 2 fucking paws, on the fucking Jeep or whatever, and these lads are like and they like take out my tobacco and stuff like that, and they're like, what is this? Give me the whole fucking rundown. And at the same time, what's quite funny as well is the rest of them were quite gutted on whatever the fuck was going around in the club that night. And one of the guys is complete off his head, and he goes, oh, is it fucking like, oh, you guys are all having like the guns and stuff like that. And what was crazy is that like they were all the quite fucked up ones, but I was the one that was getting done in. And they find my ID and stuff like that. But either way, anyway, they fucking charged me like whatever, $25, most expensive beer I ever have. And then afterwards, they're like, oh, you can finish that now. And I was like, are you fucking serious? I just threw it straight in the bin. I was like, fuck that. And was therefore on my best behavior after that. But so what you do is they give you this like little pink slip, you sign it, you say, you plead guilty or whatever, and you send it off with money transfer, $25, boom. And Neve, one of the girls over here, she got caught with the same charge, but we were talking about it a couple of days later after I'd sent it off and everything, and this was coming like very much towards the end of the holiday. And she says, did you put your return address on that? And I was like, no. And she said, well, apparently someone in the post office said it ever since 9/11, if you don't put a return address on it, it doesn't get sent. So I remember fucking freaking out. And this all comes back to me, 2 years later, 8 o'clock in the morning. We'd stayed in Ashton's the night before because she's super close to the embassy. It's just there in Ballsbridge. And I'm like, fuck, I swear to God, if I'm after, because apparently, you can get fucking blacklisted for that sort of shit, and not even fucking know about it. And so we go in or whatever, and at the time I was actually working as like a assistant lecturer in IDT. They like kindly, even though I had me bad words I'd said about them, had asked me back to help out some of the classes. So I had my my laptop, I had my iPod, which is the reason for such bad sound quality. But fuck it, I'm only like, this is very like, just a homeless man recording himself on the side of the street is rambling sort of thing. So I'm not gonna go all professional, get a fucking mic or something like that. So, and of course it's, I usually think I'm quite an organized guy. My pencil case is looking pretty good at the moment. It's got all that, the HP to the B, and but of course, I still have to get my fucking passport photos taken and stuff like that. And we get in there or whatever, and of course, Ashlyn, blonde hair, blue eyes, Aryan race, she goes in. They ask her to come in, and then it's this like, it's almost like a little tiny conservatory that you go through beforehand, and then they stop me and they say, no, wait 15 minutes or whatever, and I'm like, okay, grand. And I go in after her then, and you have to take off your belt, take off your shoes. It's very airport security kind of situation, and you go through like the metal detector and everything like that. And I'm no beeps or anything like that. I go on and put my belt on again, and then I kind of eye behind me this the guy who was like checking the X-ray or whatever. He's conversing with this like really fucking tall fucking lad. And he's like, oh no, it's okay, there's nothing in it, it's fine. And he goes, no, I want to check again. I want to check again. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And something to do with my fucking laptop. And so, this guy, this fucking huge guy, and like setting the scene, he's got the fucking scar on the eye, he's got this like fucking platinum white hair. And he beckons me over with this finger. And he goes, okay, open up back. And I'm like, okay, and kind of, a case that it's not a case that I should be nervous at all, but in those kind of situations, I kind of start to, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I think it could happen to anybody. And so I open it up or whatever, and he starts swabbing the laptop. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it's never been the case either. I've been prone to nervous gas. But at this stage, the place must have fucking stank, because I was like a fucking letting rip in there. I was like, I'm throwing out these fucking pants afterwards. Fucking top man's gone straight in the fucking top bin. And he goes over and he's checking this machine and he's eyeing me the entire time, and I'm looking down, fucking shoegazing. And he comes back over and he swabs it again and he tries it again, and then he's like, okay, open laptop, turn it on. And I'm like, what is this? Are they gonna fucking check? Are they gonna check my browser history or something like that? Not that I have anything to hide or anything. All this stuff starts going through my head. I'm like, I'm not even gonna fucking make it out of the fucking embassy. I'm going straight to fucking Mount Joy after this. What is this lad on? Turn it on. I don't know with people are avid Always Sunny in Philadelphia watchers, but my start of screen thing or whatever has Charlie in the prom episode. And I just turned it on or whatever, and he goes, okay, he goes, turn it off. And I was like, alright. And then he's like, next time, don't bring so much fucking technology in here. He goes, you held up whole fucking line because of this. And I was like, big fucking sigh of relief or whatever. And I was like, I'm sorry, I had to bring this stuff, I'm working later today. He goes, I don't fucking care. I was like, I fucking held up the line. Anyway, I'm not gonna fucking, and I'm Ashlyn has gone out and everything like this, and I run into the next fucking part of it where I'm doing this fucking interview, which is the part that I thought I was gonna have to be nervous about. And so I'm fucking running up or whatever, trying to put on my belt, and some guy who obviously saw the whole situation go down outside, another one of the guards or whatever, he's like, man, don't worry about it, this sort of thing happens all the time. They're just being, they always have to be, super cautious or whatever. I'm like, okay, thank you. And so I run in or whatever, and I get into this line, and the first thing is, I think you go into this, it's very like a bank situation. You've got these like people behind, glass, and then the first one was like they checked fingerprints, and that was one I was nervous about. I was like, what if they have these prints on me or something like that? No worries, get into the next line. And Ashlyn's like, what? She's passed, she's done it all, her visa's been approved. She's like, what was all that? I was like, don't even fucking get me started. I was like, I'm actually fucking done here. And so whatever. The next one now is it's the interview with these two windows are open, and there's like four guys in front of me, and the first guy goes through, he's no worries, and I'm like, the next one though, he's this kind of like youngish lad. He's coming over here. He's doing the 6-month holiday visa or whatever, and he's kind of like, the guy's asking him, does he have enough funds and stuff like that, the classic kind of questions. And it's a case you shouldn't be nervous, but you are, because of like just like the atmosphere in there. Straight off the bat, the guy gets turned away, and he's like, what, why? And the guy's like, I'm sorry, sir, you didn't mention the names of the family members you'd be visiting over there. I don't know that you'll be, it's like it's adequate for you to get a visa over there or something, that you can apply again. And the guy goes away, like, and I'm like, fuck, that poor fucking lad. And I was like, of course, there's gonna be one out of the fucking like queue or whatever that gets fucking done or whatever. And I'm like, alright, the next two guys go up, and the next guy comes up, he has this whole fucking he like leaves down this big fucking case file. I'm like, what the fuck's the story here? And it turns out he had been over in like 2012 or something like that. Something had happened, and he was in court. And again, the guy is like, no, sorry, no visa, sir. You don't have enough information on the case or something like that, and I can't grant you access. It's still too early. I'm like, Jesus, I'm pulling at the fucking collar here, fucking beads of sweat running down my brow. And I'm like, all right, there's, and then the next guy comes up, and he's like an older guy. He's like kind of middle-aged or whatever. And, very innocently, he's doing is he wants to go over, and he just wants to spend time with his like family. They're going over to Florida. They're going to Disneyland. And the guys that, but turns out or something like that, that guy was like in some sort of fucking, I don't know, he assaulted an officer when he was younger or something like that. And this whole thing is like, stay with him in his entire life. He again has this case file or whatever, and again, boom, visa's not granted. I'm like, fuck. I hear the guy behind me. He's like, oh, I fucking hope that guy, gets a fucking coffee or something like that, because he's in no mood. I feel like turning around and ripping this guy's fucking throat. I'm like, you shut up, like, shut the fuck up. This is fucking terrifying. And I go up then. The guy goes, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, and I'm shaking, Usually I'm quite a confident fucking speaker. But as you can tell from this first podcast, something I haven't really done before. Sitting in this fucking bathroom, like fucking talking into an iPod. And he's like, hey sir, how are you today? I'm like, fine. And he's like, okay, so you're applying for the J1, okay, can I see your papers, yada yada. And he goes, and so, I think it's like a standard question. He's like, how was your graduation? I'm like, it happened on the 18th of November in... just up there in the ODS. It was a really nice day. We went out for like quite a nice meal. I mean, I wasn't crazy about the noodles. I thought they were too greasy. And he's like, oh, okay, sir, okay. And do you have enough funds for going over here? And I think it's like minimum $2,000 you have to bring over. And I go, yeah, I have my bank statement here. And he goes, don't worry about it, sir, it's fine. And then he just says, have you started applying for jobs yet when you go over? And I was like, yes, I started applying to a couple of studios. And he's like, sir, it's fine. And he just, he's like, he's on the keyboard, and he's like, there you go, sir, visa approved. And I was like, oh my god. It's like the sigh of relief that came over me. I like clicked my heels twice in one fucking jump when we fucking left that place. Ashley was like, what the hell was that? It's like, I don't care. We're fucking going for breakfast now and paying for the whole fucking thing. I don't know if I did. Probably still split fucking 50-50, but I don't know. After that whole experience, Jesus Christ, like, I remember that day in the college, actually, thankfully, the third years, who was ever running the animation society at the time, had asked me to do like a talk prior to the screening that they were doing Akira, which is one of my favorite films. And I just went up there, and again, usually, I'd be quite like nervous when it's like a case of public speaking. But I went up there and I goes, guys, I'm never gonna be fucking nervous again. I was like, I don't care if you fucking start throwing fucking rotten tomatoes at me or anything like that. I'm fucking, this is a fucking breeze compared to what I had to fucking deal with earlier on. And so yeah, so then it's a case then, it's a month ago or something like that, and it's gearing up, and you start saying goodbyes to everybody at home, and then the day comes finally, and you go to the airport, and your family are there. Mom's crying, slight tear coming from dad, and we go in or whatever, and the flight and everything like that's a breeze. On the flight, I do recall as well. I was like, this is the only situation that I think it is okay to watch Suicide Squad on a screen this tiny that'd be comparable to a fucking iPod Nano that you found in a fucking backseat of a train or something like that. I just wanted to see how fucking bad it is, and hands down, literally, I think I gave it like one fucking rotten banana out of fucking one rotten tomato on fucking IMDb. It's fucking shite, the worst fucking movie. And so, yeah, and then so we fucking like got here then or whatever, and we were staying in this. I think that brings me on then to the next part. I don't know how long these podcasts are going on to. I don't know if I should start into this part now. Maybe I should leave the what I think the stories that come next really should be the moving. God, I fucking love living in New York and everything like that, but holy cow, the fucking moving is something else. But yeah, I think maybe that'll do it for the. I love a good podcast. I listened to a lot of them in one of the jobs I was working in over here. But sometimes they're just too fucking long. Sometimes, you just want like kind of like the length of a sitcom kind of episode. So I think I'm gonna leave it there. Um, yeah, fuck it. Like I don't know. Probably it's case no one's even gonna fucking listen to this. The reason I did this was it's a way that I can basically like you go home after a trip or something like that. People are asking you, oh, tell me all about it. I think with this, I can just go listen to the fucking podcast. You hear the greatest hits there, and then not have to fucking worry about repeating myself. I'm telling it once in this fucking bathroom, and that's about it. Again, like a major influence was, and I hands down recommend it, the Blind Boy podcast. I started listening to that a couple of weeks ago in a job I was doing here. My favorite podcast. Fucking amazing intellectual. One of the most interesting, funniest conversations you can have over here. It's really great from when you're away from home. And so yeah, I felt like obviously I'm an animator. I tell stories as like a living. That's like what I do. And I thought, what better way is maybe this is like a precursor to something else. I don't know. But I thought it'd be great just to like document these like down and stuff like that. And, maybe give people a little chuckle. Give people a little Beano chortle. Maybe, I hope. I don't know. But I'll tell you. I'll end it. I'll end it on one other thing that I was thinking about there. I'd say my hair has never been as long as it has been over here. I grew with it. Ashton would give me a trim here and there, because one thing I think I was most fearful of is it's fucking ridiculous. It's so fucking pricey to get your hair cut over here. So she, give me a trim now and then. I got to the stage there a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. And I had a fucking bob. I had a fucking Natalie Portman and Leon, like it was like ridiculous, but with like a little obviously a little bit of facial hair as well, of his facial hair, but her hair. And so, I was like, oh, you know what? There's this really nice dumpling place we go to in Chinatown, and I noticed there was there's a whole row of barbers there. I was like, maybe I'll fucking go there. I went there one day after work. Holy cow! If you're fucking coming over here and you're in need of fucking a trim, hands down, Hong Kong barbers, the best haircut I've ever gotten. Because I mean, at home, I'm the kind of guy, bit of a cheapskate. I'm not gonna pay more than €10/dollars for a fucking haircut. This guy, $7, and I've never seen so much care. At home, go around like in Dunboyne, I'd go to the Joe's barbers, and you're getting these fucking like bleach blonde tits fucked into your face with it. And I was like, I don't want to fucking pay for that shit. I just want to fucking trim, do the fucking, that's my classic 4 on the back and sides, a little bit of a trim on top. The Ronan Keating haircut, as my dad used to call it. But this guy was something else. He did so much care. It's like he trimmed each individual hair on my head. No fucking razor. And he just went for it. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I don't think, the thing was, though, didn't even speak a fucking word of English, and he just fucking, I think he just sensed it or something like that. He must have had a fucking Jackie Chan talisman or something. But yeah, fuck this, I'm gonna fucking call it there. Bang on, just hit the fucking half-hour mark. Yeah, let me know what you think. God bless. I'm out.